It's the Money Issue on Sunday Morning. Here again is Jane Pauley.
Do you believe it's possible to communicate with the dead? Each year, Americans spend billions trying to do just that. This morning, Tracy Smith is talking with one very happy medium.
As psychics go, 28-year-old Tyler Henry is a pretty big medium. His specialty, as seen on his E! Network TV show, is helping folks connect with their departed relatives, like Bobby Brown here.
He's having me just acknowledge this feeling of like, I need my son to know how much I love him because I wish I would have said that more in life. It's so good to see you all. How's everyone doing?
He also has a road show that regularly sells out.
She's completely at peace. She's completely fine.
With tickets ranging from $50 to $300 a seat.
Do you know who Johnny is?
John is my brother.
Oh, John. Okay.
And Henry says he has a 600,000 plus waiting list.
Gosh, it's like you're in my body.
Of people who want one-on-one readings like these.
In a big way.
You're dealing with something that exists in a gray area, and gray areas make people very uncomfortable.
Oh my God. Hi. It's so good to meet you.
True enough, but it also gives some people a sense of peace.
I'm excited today to see whatever comes in and what happens to come through.
Me too.
Like Jim Parsons, whom Tyler helped find closure with his late grandmother.
Connected to your father. He's having me go to the grandparent level, generationally. For some reason, they're having me reference to a name, and it sounds something along the lines of like May, or there's some M, I'm saying M, A, and then like
May's
E.
my grandmother.
Oh, perfect. Okay, awesome.
Tyler mentioned my grandmother's was May, which he nailed like that. She was apologizing and saying, I'm sorry for being such a pain in the ass towards the end.
When did this all start? When did you discover you had this ability?
It started for me when I was 10 years old. My first kind of identifiable premonition happened in April of 2006. I woke up one night and just knew that my grandmother was going to die. And it was a case where it felt like it had already happened. And I rolled out of bed and I went to go try to explain this to my mom. And as I was sharing this with her, her phone rang. And when she picked it up, it was literally the news from my dad that he had just watched my grandmother die. So that really kicked it off, but I didn't recognize that as a talent. In fact, it was, quite painful.
Henry studied to be a hospice nurse, but quit to start reading people full-time, though he says that now, in some ways, he's doing the same kind of work.
How do you think this helps people deal with grief?
I think it helps people process emotions that they don't generally feel comfortable processing. So it's really a beautiful, beautiful opportunity, one I don't take lightly, and one that I think of as a responsibility.
Somebody over here, did anybody lose a niece?
And for those who are grieving, it can all get pretty real. For instance, in a live show in New York last year, Henry sensed that someone in the crowd had lost a niece.
Okay, I know that I'm in the front section and the way this is coming through, somewhere in this department. But
and then he found a man who'd recently lost his niece.
Okay. I have to highlight a reference to the month of July. We're in August currently. July was important, all right? This is I'm so sorry. Oh.
What do you say to people who say, oh, come on?
Yeah. I think that it's important to embrace skepticism, to never lose sight of our critical thinking, and to, more than anything, use common sense. But I also think that when it comes to grief, it's something we're all going to face. And if I'm able to deliver one thing, one unknowable detail, one piece of information that validates to a person that there's more to life than what we see, then that is worth any skepticism I face, any backlash, because I know that I've left someone better than I found them.
Of course, not everyone in the psychic services industry leaves people better off. Tyler Henry says about half the people in his business aren't what they say they are.
I know nothing. Everything that I have, everything that comes out of here, comes from the man upstairs.
In the 90s, a woman named Yuri Del Harris posed as a Jamaican psychic named Miss Cleo.
You know the one I am talking about, don't you?
And became the face of a popular call-in psychic advice service.
Call me now for your free reading.
Turns out it was all an act. Miss Cleo was actually from Los Angeles, but whenever anyone asked her about it, as I did in 2003, she was less than forthcoming.
Where were you born?
You know what? I will tell you the same thing that I told the Attorney General. I took a number 5 with him. That's the Fifth Amendment. And I will take it with you at this time.
How about birthday? Will you tell me that if you won't tell me where you're born?
I'll take a number 5.
I'm taking that as a no. Tell me your sign.
I'll take a number 5.
This is a beautiful spot.
Thank you.
Tyler Henry knows there will always be frauds and skeptics, but he sees a future in his business and says we shouldn't knock things we can't explain.
Consciousness is clearly very complicated, multifaceted. There's an element to it that we clearly don't understand, but to be able to sit with a stranger and get an insight into their life as though it is one's own life speaks to the fact that I think we are much more connected than we realize.